Welcome to ARI. If your fleet is like most, you face a range of challenges, but your biggest may be one of perspective. If you view fleet primarily as a cost, as a set of transactions that has to be contained, that misses the big picture. Fleet is more than managing costs. Fleet is an investment with one main purpose: delivering the goods and services that are core to your business. And while it does involve transactions, those transactions are all interconnected and impact each other. But what if you had a better handle on those connections? What if you could see how driver behavior affects maintenance costs, or how capital and operating expenses are intertwined? ARI can show you. So instead of wasting time with administrative tasks, you'll be optimizing those connections into a smooth, continuous cycle. Buy, drive, service, sell. The bottom line is that when you approach fleet strategically, you can free its power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Decisions. There's no getting around them, especially financial ones. And one of the key decisions in fleet operations is whether it's better to lease or buy. The answer is tied to the larger picture of capital forecasting and the long-term impact of your financial decisions. But what if you knew for certain whether using cash, a third party, an ARI lease, or a combination of all three is the best way to go? And what if you knew whether your decision meets both your current needs and long-term financial outlook? ARI can help you find the answers. We combine your business data with economic research to drive our funding recommendations. And we offer flexible leasing and purchase options that align with your company's goals. The bottom line is that when you look at financing strategically, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Let's start with an obvious point about supply chain. When it comes to buying new vehicles, there are plenty of pitfalls, since the process can involve multiple suppliers and usually takes place beyond your sight and control. But what if you could manage the process strategically and have control over the journey? What if you could see how related factors like vehicle funding and remarketing impact your supply chain? You can with ARI. With a wealth of actionable data at your fingertips, you can work with our experts to design the best vehicle for the job, armed with the best equipment. You'll be able to see the long-term impact of vehicle acquisitions on operating expenses. Most importantly, you'll have a partner dedicated to ensuring everyone works together toward a common goal, your goal. And with the ability to control your entire supply chain, ARI can ensure you get the right vehicles for the job when you need them. Properly upfitted, fully liveried, and work ready. The bottom line is that when you approach supply chain strategically, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. The age of the connected vehicle has arrived, which means it's no longer a question of if you'll be using telematics, but when. So how do you make sense of those millions of data points? How do you deal with having multiple brands of fleet vehicles, all with different telematic devices? If you're like many using telematics, you're probably weeding through that data instead of having actionable insights that can make your life easier. But what if you didn't have to do all that weeding? What if your drivers could concentrate on servicing your customers while you monitor driver behavior, vehicle performance, and fuel purchase all in real time, so that you can precisely pinpoint what's driving up spend and identify trends that you wouldn't have seen before? ARI can give you answers, a single source of normalized data that's transformed into actionable information. We can also help you determine which of the new technologies are best for you and how to navigate critical issues like data ownership and privacy. The bottom line is that with ARI's data integration capabilities, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Is there anything more important than the safety of your drivers? Of course not. But in the average fleet, 20 to 30% of vehicles are involved in collisions every year. The costs can be enormous. While driver safety is paramount, there are also repair costs, liability exposures, the potential damage to your reputation, and more. But what if you could create a culture of safety in your fleet? Not just a list of rules posted on a bulletin board, but an environment where drivers understood the impact of their behavior, where they have tools that can identify bad driving habits and show how to correct them, where the administrative tasks associated with collisions are minimized. ARI can show you how. Our driver safety program combines driver policy and online training to deliver your company's permit to drive and help minimize collisions and downtime. Our Riskmaster solution confirms that drivers actually understand your fleet policy and gives you the tools to improve their skills and recognize them when they do. The bottom line is that when you take a holistic approach to driver safety, you can keep your drivers safe and free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Controlling vehicle operating costs is an ongoing challenge. A vehicle breaks down, so you send it off to be repaired. An MOT or service is missed, all resulting in unplanned downtime and cost to your business. But what if you could prevent that breakdown from occurring in the first place? What if you knew whether your vehicles are being properly operated, maintained, fueled, and road legal at any given time? The first step is to ask the right questions. How, when, and where is the vehicle being used? Where are the opportunities to manage costs? ARI can help you find the answers. Our in-house team of trained professionals can help you select the right vehicle and control the cost of all in-life events. With ARI's technology, you can anticipate maintenance problems and move from a break-and-fix approach to a proactive predict and prevent mindset. And we can help you apply the same approach to control other operating costs, like fuel, compliance, fraud, and fines. The bottom line is, when you look at controlling costs strategically, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Few problems are more troubling than downtime, but downtime isn't actually the problem. It's the result of any number of problems affecting your fleet. If your ordered vehicles don't arrive on schedule, if your renewal processes aren't functioning smoothly, if your drivers take their vehicles in for repairs that could have been avoided. Downtime. And while there are many causes, the actual costs of downtime can be harder to identify. The loss of productivity, the loss of revenue, the disruptions to fleet operations, and even the impact of downtime on company morale. It's time you can never get back. But what if you could eliminate the nagging problems with downtime? ARI has tools that give you a clearer view of your operations, so you can tackle downtime proactively rather than reactively, and often at the worst possible time. The bottom line is that when you approach downtime strategically, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. Reliable capital forecasting is important for any fleet. But if your company is like most, you get the same capital funding year after year after year, which means you're forced to manage year by year with little or no flexibility in acquiring vehicles. That's a trap that makes it hard, if not impossible, to stay agile in a changing marketplace. But why make do with unrealistic funding allocations based on past guesswork and near-term influences? What if you knew precisely what vehicles to replace in order to control operating costs and how to budget for their replacement with precision every year. What if you proved that spending money to replace vehicles makes more financial sense than continuing to repair them? What if you could prove it was best to sell today to maximize your return on investment? And whatever decisions you make, how can you predict their impact 2, 3, and 4 years down the road? Using historical data analytical models, ARI can give you answers. You'll see how the effective use of capital funds can clamp down on unpredictable operating expenses, and you'll have solid information to back up your capital requests to company leaders. The bottom line is that ARI can help you demonstrate how to free your fleet's power to generate revenue for your business. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone. So it's time to sell a vehicle from your fleet, or maybe 5 vehicles, or 100. But selling a vehicle is more than a transaction. It's a process that begins the moment you spec a vehicle. Do you have the right vehicle for the job? If not, it can cost you. Are you planning to defleet it at the right time of year? A lot of vehicles are delivered in March and September, but when is the best time to sell them? Has the vehicle been operated properly? Have you serviced it regularly? And are you sure that now is the right time to sell it, as opposed to maintaining it for another year or 2? ARI can answer all those questions. We see the interconnected decisions that impact resale value, and we see trends that can affect resale values months into the future, like finance conditions, market conditions, and more. When it is the right time to sell, ARI will identify the best sales channels and sell your vehicles for you. And we'll make sure that the vehicles you've ordered to replace the ones you're selling arrive at the right time, ready to roll. We do all of this so you can focus on your business. The bottom line is that when you look at remarketing strategically, you can free your fleet's power to generate revenue. Remember, your fleet is an investment, and it's time it paid off. ARI has more ways to help you do that than anyone.